All right, Tone. We have a bunch of shit to talk about tonight. Let's get to our first topic. This happened yesterday. And, dude, this was
an interesting situation.
This was really weird. Like, really weird. What would go on to be probably the largest leak of information, not just, obviously in Xbox history, but maybe in video game history.
Mm-hmm.
This was the biggest unveiling of leaked info or unredacted info ever. I mean, it was fucking bonkers. The amount of information that got leaked yesterday.
And it was like, when it happened, it was like a waterfall or an avalanche effect. All of a sudden, just started small.
Dude, everyone started
crashed.
digging into the files. Once they realized that this stuff was unredacted and like it was everybody grab it and read, people started diving into it. Now you can't anymore. Most of it's been deleted. Excuse me. But a lot of people got screenshots and downloads and whatnot. So I mean, it's pretty, easy to find on everywhere right now. But dude, like when I say that there was an abundance of like information that was released here, I mean details on Bethesda's game catalog from now until 2025. We have next gen information, what Xbox has planned for their next gen system.
2028.
Their plans going forward. A new Xbox, yes, we're actually, according to the plans. Now keep in mind, Phil Spencer came out and basically said a lot of these emails, and they were dated from 2020. A lot of things have changed since then. I mean, that's what he says. Things have changed, plans have changed, announcements have changed, but you kind of get a peek at what they want to do, what their thought about what next-gen gaming is. Whether or not it's the same one-to-one remains to be seen. A lot of things do change. This is not an industry that is stuck in its path. And
right.
We can't move. We can't deviate from this.
Right.
It's always changing. But there was some deep shit that came out from this. When we look at the first thing, we do now know at one point, or I'm sure it'll be announced at some point, they are going to do a mid-gen refresh. So they're going to kind of like not. Now it's not going to be the same as like how they went from Xbox One to Xbox One X. You're not going to see like a huge revision, like a boost in performance, but you are going to get kind of a refresher. And what we're talking about is this here. Codename Brooklyn, the Xbox Series S refresh, the most powerful Xbox ever, now adorably all digital. All digital. Brooklyn will deliver 4K Gen 9 console gaming with more internal storage, faster Wi-Fi, reduced power, and a more immersive controller. And a beautiful redesign that elevates the all-digital experience of the Xbox ecosystem. We're going from square to cylinder. We're trying to fit a square peg to a round hole.
Easier to put in your butt either way.
I mean, but not at home. You can't lay it on your side anymore. It's got to stand up.
That's stupid.
You can't, but there's no disc driving it, so it's okay. You don't have to worry about things falling apart.
Okay.
It's all digital.
Okay.
Don't hate it just yet.
That really still works with entertainment systems, but continue.
Giving our fans more to love. Beautiful and innovative new design. Okay. More internal storage, 2 terabytes.
Whoa.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Yes.
A USB-C front port with power delivery.
There you
All
go.
new, more immersive controller, which we'll talk about in a second.
Ooh.
Same great price of $499. Updated technologies. All new Southbridge to modernize I/O and sustainability efforts. Don't know what the fuck that means. Maybe Dresden does. He's a nerd. Wi-Fi 6E radio for better throughput, latency, and interference mitigation. BT 5.2 radio for improved accessory experience. Do they expect any casual gamer to know what the fuck
Like that
any of that means?
That guy from Sony that always
Mark Cerny.
Yeah, what's his
just up
name?
there fucking
Yeah,
just
Mark
womp.
Cerny.
It sounds like fucking Charlie Brown's teacher.
Yeah.
Womp.
Yeah, big words.
6 nanometer die shrink for improved efficiency. Don't know anything the fuck that shit means. I know what all that means. Well, it's because you're a fucking nerd, bro. Improved sustainability story. Reduced PSU power by 15%. That's good. New low-power standby mode is 20% of current Xbox Series S standby mode. Increased use of PCR on housing. Okay. 100% recyclable packaging. Aw. So thoughtful. You need this. I do need this nerd. I ain't mad at you, bro. I'm not mad at you. He knows what this shit is. Maybe we'll have him call in one day and explain it to us.
Yeah.
It's not going to be today. He's our Mark Cerny.
Yeah.
That's who Dungeons is. So we got to see this new cylinder-shaped Xbox Series X refresh, which is supposedly supposed to be landing next fall, 2024. But that's not all.
Yeah, there you go, Gray. Yeah, that's my last one because it was square, but I'm kind of a cylinder type of guy.
See? They're gonna win you over.
Man.
But that's not all, Tone.
Easier to put in your butt.
The DualSense 5
Is it in water?
has inspired
Yeah.
Microsoft.
Yeah.
The world's best controller now playing on a screen near you. This codename Sebel, the new Xbox controller. Ubiquity, play anywhere. Xbox Wireless 2, direct to cloud, Bluetooth. Seamless pair and switch. New mobile app features. See paired devices in cloud, manage devices accessories. Immersion. Here it is, Tone.
Mm-hmm.
Precision haptic feedback.
There you go. Finally.
VCA haptics double as speakers. Accelerometer. That's a huge word. Quieter buttons and thumbsticks. I didn't realize it was loud. Is it loud? I don't listen to the fucking controller. I don't listen to it.
Yeah. The haptic stuff is great though, because I mean that's one thing that I love about the PlayStation's ecosystem is that immersion that the haptic has created. So I'm glad they're getting on board with that because I think that's huge. That's awesome.
Sustainability, rechargeable and swappable batteries, recycled materials and less resin, repair and disassembly. If the new Xbox has no disk drive, then I'm out. Hey, man, this supposedly... Now, look, plans change according to Phil. Okay? According to Phil, plans change, so we don't know.
Yeah, GameStop's calling. I'm freaking out like they did before.
Right. We need discs, damn it.
Yeah.
Durable and reliable. New modular thumbsticks, improved longevity, continued build improvements, and then approachability. We have lift to wake, which I kind of like. Lift it up, and it wakes up. You don't have to hit the button. Familiar Xbox feel. Same ergonomics as Merlin. I'm assuming that's the other controller. Same layout and activation forces, and a bunch of other bullshit.
Is this basically going to be considered an elite controller? Because I see the...
I don't know, man. That's
going to be a standard
we
controller?
don't know. We don't know. I'm assuming if they want to be competitive, they're going to want to make money too. This will be your standard one, and then they'll get another elite one with all the bells and whistles plus the because it doesn't mention anything about triggers on the back or anything like that in this mock-up, anyways. It doesn't mention. So I'm assuming this is going to be the new base level controller,
Hopefully.
and then we'll have an elite 3.0 that'll have all this shit plus whatever you expect from it. I hope they change. These are all. Keep in mind, the Sebel is just these are code names.
They always do code names.
These are all code names. These will not be like these are just code names. Because I think what was Xbox One X was Scorpion or Scorpio?
Yeah.
Scorpio. So these are just code names. These will not be the actual fucking names.
So the round thing was code name. Originally they didn't go with it. Was easy to put in your butt, but they went with something a little bit more.
I don't know, man. I probably would have been like, oh, really? Oh, I think I'll buy that one now. It's easy to put in my butt.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we had that stuff. Okay, that was crazy. Like, holy shit, man, they got a lot of stuff going on. But then they also showed this, Xbox Gaming Beyond. This is what their plans are going forward. They want this shit to work on everything.
This sounds like conversations that's been going on in this show for a couple years now.
Browsers, mobile, smart TVs, low-end mid-PCs, 3P streaming sticks, cloud devices, handheld.
My old assistant and friend is playing Starfield on his TV.
Really?
Yeah, streaming it. Game Pass.
Handheld. Now, the interesting thing about handheld, are they referring to a first-party handheld? Like an accessory to buy along with an Xbox? Or are they just referring to stuff like the Rogue Ally, third-party stuff that they can cooperate with other publishers and developers and whatnot who make their own? So it will work on other handhelds. You got consoles, high-end PC, and Cloud Blade. And then you see all the other shit underneath it, all the other accessories. They want this thing to be accessible. They want Xbox to be accessible everywhere, which I feel like has been their grand scheme.
That's always been the goal.
That's always what they've talked about.
Always been the goal.
But that wasn't it, man. There was more shit. I mean, there's a lot of shit. We're not going to cover all of it. If you guys get a chance, go on to Google and just type Xbox leak. And there is shit everywhere. Now, one of the other things we talked about is now we know what Bethesda has planned, or at one point had planned. Next year, Indiana Jones game, Oblivion remaster, Elder Scrolls Online expansion, Starfield DLC, plus 3 other titles. So that's what we know was a plan at one point. After that, Doom Year Zero and DLC. What the fuck is Doom Year Zero? That's a new Doom game. Project Kestrel. Elder Scrolls Online expansion. Project Platinum. What is Platinum Games? Are we going back to, what was the Dragon game? One that got canceled. Their big exclusive.
Something score, blah, 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 I don't remember.
God, what was that called? Scalebound.
Scalebound.
Project Platinum?
I think that's more of like a secret code name for something else. Or they're bringing back the Platinum Hits.
There you go. And then the final one, look at it, Elder Scrolls 6, which in another email suggested that is skipping PlayStation.
I mean, why wouldn't they?
Project licensed IP game. Not sure what that is. Fallout 3 remastered. I'd actually be cool with that. Fallout 3 is still my favorite like Bethesda game. Fallout 3 was fucking incredible. I would love a remaster. Elder Scrolls Online expansion. Ghostwire Tokyo sequel. That's interesting. Because by all accounts, I always thought Ghostwire Tokyo was kind of a failure. I thought it was a cool game. It had some cool ideas, but it was a little shallow. But I don't remember it being like a huge sale. You know, I mean, that was a PS5 exclusive at one point.
Yeah, you're right.
And it didn't really take off. Dishonored 3, yes. Definitely on board. And then Doom Year Zero DLC. I mean, dude, this is substantial leaks.
Yeah.
And like some of these games might not even be in production anymore. Games get canceled all the time. And that's why these leaks are just so difficult because it sets an expectation. You and I understand. A lot of our viewers understand. This shit can change all the time. But there are going to be some people who see this and they think, oh, fuck, Fallout 3 remaster? Let's go. And then if it never comes through, they're going to be like, what the fuck?
All right.
So, I mean, these are that's why these leaks do suck. But I do think they're interesting because, like I said, I love these leaks because you kind of get a glimpse at what goes on behind the scenes.
For better or
you
for
get to
worse.
find out who these people really are.
Uh-oh.
You do. You get to find out who Phil Spencer is. I mean, look, yeah, he goes out on stage and he's a guy like, oh, I want to have a beer with Phil Spencer. He seems like a cool dude.
He does.
He seems like he gives a shit about me. But then when you get to these emails, you're like, oh, he's a corporate guy after all. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. He has a job. He has a job to do. That's to sell Xboxes and make the brand look fucking good. And if he goes up on stage at E3 and all these other things, or at E3 or when it was cool, and does his own thing, he's reached out trying to connect with people. But at the end of the day, he is a businessman doing business things for a corporation that wants to make fucking money.
That's correct.
And that's what these emails get. Now, look, dude, there was a couple emails that came out. But there is one that is by and far the most like, holy shit email. And there was one email from Phil Spencer where he kind of gets into his aspirations, what he really wants to do. And I feel like there's two ways to look at this, for myself anyways. You get a good look at who he is, and you also get a good look at what Xbox's plan is, or at the time of these emails. But he basically sent out an email that indicated that he was interested in buying Nintendo. He wants to buy Nintendo. He got clearance. I can't remember the CEO's name, Satella something. Got clearance to if he wants to pursue Warner Brothers, Warner Brothers Studios, Valve, or Nintendo. He's got the blessing of the board of directors. Spencer described Nintendo as a prime asset for Microsoft. He wrote that if any U.S. company would have a chance with Nintendo, we are probably in the best position. At some point, getting Nintendo would be a career moment, Tone. And I honestly believe a good move for both companies. Spencer acknowledged an acquisition would be difficult, as Nintendo is sitting on a pile of cash, and it would take a long time for Nintendo to see that their future exists off of their own hardware. A long time. There's a lot of hubris there. Like, look, man, here's my issue with this. Again, I don't mind Phil Spencer doing what he does behind the scenes. He is a businessman. It is his job to put Xbox in the best position to win. But, dude, I'm telling you right now, I don't care if it's Xbox, PlayStation, or whoever. If somebody like those two, either it be PlayStation or Xbox, buys fucking Nintendo, we all lose. It's really that simple. Microsoft clearly is more interested in buying up studios, cornering the market, taking everything, buying everything, as opposed to making games. They have a ton of fucking studios under them now with Bethesda. All those studios, their own first-party studios, and soon to be Activision studios. And this dude's still fucking looking at Nintendo or Valve? The only people who would be okay with that deal, if whether it's Sony or Microsoft buying Nintendo, are fanboys and psychos. Because in the end, when you remove all that competition, we all lose. Mm-hmm. Instead of buying up everything, make fucking games with the 30-some studios you have under your thumb. Make fucking games. You have a bunch of talented studios. Make fucking games. To think that at one point Microsoft was like, we need to buy Nintendo? What?
Mm-hmm. They're sitting on a huge pile. I mean, that would be like that's a easy cash cow to milk, easy one too. But like, truth be told, part of what makes Nintendo it's their own thing is because they do lean into their being their own thing and things of that nature. Like I feel like even if Sony were to buy them, like that charm and that luster is never going to be the same. You're never going to get that back. But at the end of the day, like, and I've always had an issue with the Activision acquisition as well too. Like, I don't like, outside of games, people have heard me rant about big companies monopolizing and taking like bigger fish, eating bigger. I don't like any of it. I'm not a fan of any of that stuff. But that would be wild if that did that. But I don't think I have a hard time, and I don't know if if enough dollar bills or yen or whatever was put in front of Nintendo, even if they would say, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. But you wave enough money, everybody changes their tune, right? It would be, nothing would be the same. But it comes back to what you say about competition.
Yeah.
You remove competition from the playing field, we all lose.
Yes.
That's why that's why it's so good to have, both ecosystems, or people that enjoy the Game Pass ecosystem or the Nintendo ecosystem. You check
OBS. Oh, there we go. I think we're connected. It says OBS. Hey, are we back? Are we back? Can you guys hear us? It says OBS has reconnected. So hopefully, okay, you're back. All right, good. We're back.
Cool.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. The internet was just like, fuck you. Your takes are shit, and we're shutting up. See what happens? Phil Spencer was watching this, and he said, "Cut their internet.
They're showing the leaked email.
Cut their fucking internet. I'll show them. I'm fucking God."
Yeah, get Teams up.
Well played, Phil. Well played. Last thing I heard was Nintendo ecosystem.
All I was really just saying is that competition's good for everybody, and it makes things better and challenges. Some companies use that to better themselves, in progress. Some don't. Some buy other studios, whatever. So, it's best for everybody when there's competition. That's the that's pretty much the end that you were trying to point. That I also agree with. At the end of the day. That's wild to think that Microsoft does have massive fucking pockets because Xbox is a fraction of their company clearly, but I don't think that would be good for the video game industry regardless. I still don't think that the Activision will be in the long run, but we'll see.
I just don't want one company. I mean, I get it. Microsoft has money, and that's great. They've worked, they've done a good job at building that stockpile, and they've done a great job at like selling their products. But look, to sit there and go out and buy up, you've already bought two big publishers, and to buy up a fucking publisher like Nintendo would just be, again,
a developer.
It sounds desperate. It really sounds desperate, and you're just trying to corner a market, and you're trying to take over everything. And dude, nobody fucking wins. You're trying to squeeze all that shit into Game Pass, and then it was hilarious, man. Like, I guess there was somebody brought up there was either a statement or something that was in this huge leak that Phil Spencer in an interview during the FTC court case or whatever it was, the hearing and whatnot, he said, look, if Game Pass isn't at a certain amount by like 2027, we might have to exit the gaming industry.
Yeah, crocodile tears my eyes.
And I was just like, dude, you did not just sit there and say that to try to get everyone to sign up to Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, don't give me that shit. Don't fucking give me, well, if we don't get there, we'll have to fucking back out and make everyone sign up for Game Pass. Dude, make fucking games and they'll sign up for Game Pass. Make fucking games. Like, literally, that's all you have to do. You have all these developers, make games. That don't suck. Don't make Redfalls, Make more Hi-Fi Rush. Make fucking good games. Boom. Psychotic gets it. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, Phil came out, and it was interesting, man, because when this all broke, there was a lot of people going, oh, man, this is the FTC up to no good.
There was a lot of simps out there, wasn't
there? Yeah, dude. This was one of the funnier things on social media. When this all came out, man, you had some notable influencers who we won't name who were out there going, oh, man, if I was Microsoft, I'd want to know who intentionally leaked this. I'd be pissed about this intentional leak.
Yeah.
And other guys, other influencers and journalists going, oh, the FTC, they leaked this on purpose. They're trying to make Microsoft look bad. There's a lot of influencers and journalists running with that narrative. A lot of them. And then the FTC came out and said, no, man, it wasn't us. And everyone was like, bullshit. They're lying. And then a judge came out and said, no, Microsoft provided all these files. They gave us the link to all these unredacted files. Oops. And then all these influencers sort of walking back their comments or tone, deleting their tweets altogether. Be careful who you follow on social media. Be careful what influencers you put a lot of stock into. Because much like the mouthpieces for the corporations that they create narratives for and try to damage control, they don't care. They're in the bag somehow. They might not be getting duffel bags of money, but they sure are getting a lot of other stuff. Hi, everybody. We're back.
Internet.
Spectrum is bullshit. Is it storming up there? No, it's not storming. It's just Spectrum.
Yeah.
It's not storming. It's just Spectrum. So we'll be back. Look like dude is farting and Fanboy Tone was offended. Hey, man. What's up, Wolf? All right. So we'll continue to move along here in case the internet just decides to shit its bed at some. Kate?
Look who it is.
Oh, man. Should we tell them now? Because Kate's a Mario Kart girl, isn't she?
Yeah, she is.
Hey, guys and girls, just so you know, next week there will not be an official episode of Banter and Babble, but there will be a community night, and we're going to be doing some Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to hop on some Mario Kart next Wednesday night. Going to be shenanigans.
Yep.
I'm turning off blue shells, so all you fuckers have to actually try to win on skill. Yeah,
and
Kate.
lightning.
Kate, we actually waited for you to show up to announce
Kart
this.
raging. Yeah.
Kart Rage next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Twitch. We will get. Oh yeah. Wolf wants some of that. Wolf just comes on here and just fucking runs the game.
He knew we were going to talk about Kart.
He did, man. That's why he's here. Him and Kate both knew. They're just like, yeah, I think they're going to talk about carts.
Yeah,
tonight.
they're going to talk about Kart tonight.
You're right. We are going to talk about carts tonight. But no, we want to get you guys and girls' thoughts on the Xbox leak. Was there anything else that stood out to you? Like I said, go and search it out. All these sites covered it. A lot of good information in there. A lot of like detailed emails. There's some wild stuff that Phil Spencer talked about. When Starfield was delayed a whole year, he basically said Microsoft's release schedule was a disaster. He said this is a disaster situation. They dove into some numbers about what they think it would cost to get certain games into Game Pass on day one. Third-party titles, some of them over $300 million to get them into Game Pass. Don't tell me Game Pass is sustainable when you have to pay $300 million to get a third-party title into your day one stuff.
Dang, it's crazy.
And then somebody valued Baldur's Gate 3 $5 million to get it in Game Pass. Oops. That analyst should probably be fired.
Yeah, no shit.
It was wild. But no, let us know what you thought. Check it out. Read about it. Let us know your comments on YouTube, whether you're watching here, if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes. Let us know what you think of the massive Xbox leak. It was fucking chaos.